What's up, guys? Today we are reading chapter 21 through 22.
21.
I'm sorry. But yeah, we're reading chapter 21 and 22 of the book of Matthew. We're getting pretty close to the end, but the book of Matthew, I think, only has 28 chapters, which the 28th is the resurrection. But yeah, we're almost there. For the last chapters, I want to read it like straight through, so I don't want to just read 27 and 28. I want to read like 25, 26, 27, 28. So we're going to read 4 chapters all in one sitting, hopefully, if God allows it. But yeah, so we have a total of 3 more videos coming out, so 21, 22, 23, 24, and then the final video, which is going to be 25, 26, 27, and 28. So yeah, and then after that, it's study time for the book of Matthew. And after I finish this book, I will then proceed to make a weekly update. I think I need to check back on that. Regardless, I'm talking too much. Let's get to reading. Now when they drew near to Jerusalem and came to Bethphage, to the Mount of Olives, then Jesus sent 2 disciples, saying to them, Go into the village in front of you, and immediately you will find a donkey tied, and a colt with her. Untie them and bring them to me. If anyone says anything to you, you shall say, The Lord needs them, and he will send them at once. This took place to fulfill what was spoken by the prophet, saying, Say to the daughter of Zion, Behold, your king is coming to you, humble and mounted on a donkey, on a colt, the foal of a beast of a burden. The disciples went and did as Jesus had directed them. They brought the donkey and the colt and put them on their cloaks. And when he sat on them, most of the crowd spread their cloaks on the road, and the others cut branches of the trees and spread them on the road. And the crowds that went before him and that followed him were shouting, Hosanna, the Son of David. Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord. Hosanna in the highest. And when he entered Jerusalem, the whole city was stirred up, saying, Who is this? And the crowd said, This is the prophet Jesus from Nazareth of Galilee. That's where they messed up. He's not a prophet. He's your Messiah. And Jesus entered the temple and drove out all who sold and bought in the temple. And he overturned the tables of the money changers and the seats of those who sold pigeons. He said to them, It is written, My house shall be called a house of prayer, but you make it a den of robbers. And the blind and the lame came to him in the temple, and he healed them. But when the chief priests and the scribes saw the wonderful things that he did, and the children crying out in the temple, Hosanna, the Son of David, they were indignant. And they said to him, Do you hear what these are saying? And Jesus said to them, Yes. Have you never read, Out of the mouth of infants and nursing babies you have prepared praise? And leaving them, he went out of the city to Bethany and lodged there. In the morning, as he was returning to the city, he became hungry. And seeing a fig tree by the wayside, he went to it and found nothing on it but only leaves. And he said to it, May no fruit ever come from you again. And the fig tree withered at once. When the disciples saw it, they marveled, saying, How did the fig tree wither at once? And Jesus answered them, Truly I say to you, if you have faith and do not doubt, you will not only do what has been done to the fig tree, but even if you say to this mountain, Be taken up and thrown into the sea, it will happen. But whatever you ask in prayer you will receive, if you have faith. And when he entered the temple, the chief priests and the elders of the people came up to him as he was teaching, and said, By what authority are you doing these things? And who gave you this authority? Jesus answered them, I also will ask you one question. If you tell me the answer, then I also will tell you by what authority I do these things. The baptism of John, from where did it come from? From heaven or from man?" And they discussed this among themselves, saying, "If we say from heaven, he will say to us, 'Why then did you not believe? Why then did you not believe him?' But if we say from man, we are afraid of the crowd, for all hold that John was a prophet." So they answered Jesus, "We do not know." And he said to them, "Neither will I tell you by what authority I do these things. What do you think? A man had 2 sons and went to the first and said, 'Son, go and work in the vineyard today.' And he answered, 'I will not.' But afterward he changed his mind and went. And he went to the other son and said the same. And he answered, 'I go, sir,' but did not go. Which of the 2 did the will of his father?" They said, "The first." Jesus said to them, "Truly I say to you, the tax collectors and the prostitutes go into the kingdom of God before you. For John came to you in the way of righteousness, and you did not believe him. But the tax collectors and the prostitutes believe him, and even when you saw it, you did not afterward change your mind and believe him. Hear another parable. There was a master of a house who planted a vineyard, and put a fence around it, and dug a winepress in it, and built a tower, and leased it to the tenants, and went into another country. When the season of fruit drew near, he sent his servants to the tenants to get his fruit. And the tenants took his servants and beat one, killed another, and stoned another. Again he sent other servants, more than the first, and they did the same to them. Finally he sent his son to them, saying, 'They will respect my son.' But when the tenants saw the son, they said to themselves, 'This is the heir to come. Let us kill him and have his inheritance.' And they took him and threw him out of the vineyard and killed him. When therefore the owner of the vineyard comes, what will he do to those tenants?" They said to him, "He will put those wretches to miserable death and let out the vineyard to other tenants who will give him the fruits of their." I cannot speak clearly. Alright, let's reread that sentence. "He will put those wretches to a miserable death and let out the vineyard to other tenants who will give him the fruits in their seasons." Jesus said to them, "Have you never read the scriptures? The stone that the builders rejected has become the cornerstone. This is what the Lord's doing, and it is marvelous in our eyes. Therefore I tell you, the kingdom of God will be taken away from you and given to the people producing its fruits. And the one who falls on this stone will be broken to pieces, and when it falls on anyone, it will crush him." When the chief priests and the Pharisees heard his parables, they perceived that he was speaking about them. And although they were seeking to arrest him, they feared the crowd because they held him to be a prophet. That's the end of chapter 1. And again, Jesus spoke to them in parables, saying, "The kingdom of heaven may be compared to a king who gave a wedding feast for his son, and sent his servants to call those who were invited to the wedding feast, but they would not come. Again he sent other servants, saying, 'Tell those who are invited, see, I have prepared my dinner, my oxen, my fat calves have been slaughtered, and everything is ready. Come to the wedding feast.' But they said no. They paid no attention and went off, one to his farm, another to his business, while the rest seized his servants, treated them shamefully, and killed them. The king was angry, and he sent his troops to destroy the house, and destroyed those murderers, and burned their city. And when he said to his servants, 'The wedding feast is ready, but those invited were not worthy. Go therefore to the main roads and invite to the wedding feast as many as you find.' And those servants went out into the roads and gathered all whom they found, both bad and good. So the wedding hall was filled with guests. But when the king came in to look at the guests, he saw there a man who had no wedding garment. And he said to him, 'Friend, How did you get in here without a wedding garment?" And he was speechless. Then the king said to the attendants, Bind him hand and foot, and cast him into the outer darkness. In that place there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth, for many are called, but few are chosen." Then the Pharisees went and plotted how to entangle him in his words, and they sent their disciples to him along with the Herodians, saying, "Teacher, we know that you are true and teach the way of God truthfully, and you do not care about anyone's opinion, for you are not swayed by appearances. Tell us then what you think. Is it lawful to pay taxes to Caesar or not?" But Jesus, aware of their malice, said, "Why put me to the test, you hypocrites? Show them the coin for the tax." And they brought him a denarius. And Jesus said to them, "Whose likeness and inscription is this?" They said, "Caesar's." Then he said to them, "Therefore, render to Caesar the things that are his." Can I turn the page? There you go. That are his, and to God the things that are God's. When they heard it, they marveled, and they left him and went away. The same day Sadducees came to him, who say that there is no resurrection. They asked him a question, saying, "Teacher, Moses said, if a man dies having no children, his brother must marry the widow and raise up offsprings for his brother. Now there were 7 brothers among us. The first married and died, and having no offsprings left his wife to his brother. So too the second, third, down to the 7th. After them all, the woman died. In the resurrection, therefore, of the 7, whose wife will she be? For they all had her." But Jesus answered them, "You are wrong, because you know neither the Scriptures nor the power of God. For in the resurrection they neither marry nor are given in marriage, but are like angels in heaven. And as for the resurrection of the dead, have you not read what was said to you by God? I am the God of Abraham, and the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. He is not the God of the dead, but of the living." And when the crowd heard it, they were astonished by his teaching. And when the Pharisees heard that he had silenced the Sadducees, they gathered together, and one of them, a lawyer, asked him a question to test him. "Teacher, which is the great commandment in the law?" And he said to them, "You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. This is the great and first commandment. The second is like it. You shall love your neighbor as you love yourself, or as yourself. On these 2 commandments depend all the law and the prophets." Now while the Pharisees were gathered together, Jesus asked them a question, saying, "What do you think about the Christ? Whose son is he?" They said to him, "The son of David." He said to them, "How is it then that David in the Spirit calls him Lord, saying, 'The Lord said to my Lord, sit to my right hand, until I put your enemies under your feet'? If then David calls him Lord, how is he his son?" And no one was able to answer him a word. Nor from that day did anyone dare ask him any more questions. And that is the end of chapter 22. I am sorry for making so many mess ups while reading this chapter. I'm very tired and I'm sore, but yes, I have no excuses. Tomorrow I will read chapter 23 and 24, and like I said in the beginning of the video, 25, 26, 27, and 28. And that'll be the end of the book of Matthew. I also want to confess, during the cruise ship, I said I was going to take the book and take notes. I did not do it. I got distracted and I fell for temptation. I procrastinated and I did a bunch of horrible stuff that I shouldn't have done, and I fell. Of course I repented, and that doesn't mean that it never happened, but I'm gonna try to do better, and so on and so forth. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I wanted to confess about the cruise before the seventh day because I felt guilty about what happened and telling you guys that I was gonna take notes, but I never did. Regardless, nobody watches, but God is always watching, so I figured I might as well come out and say it. You might see me reading the Bible and doing all this, but I'm just like you, suffering through sin and suffering through everything that a human struggles with. So yeah, you're not alone. God bless you, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for chapter 23 and 24. Peace out.